Welcome. My name is Grandma Storm. I write stories for young adults. Today I am reading chapters 86 through 40 in my book, The Book of Faith. Rounds of golden cheeses, fragrant baskets of fruit, and birch bark trays of fresh baked bread lay on a linen draped table. The butter was incredible. Faith slathered it on hot bread just to watch it melt in the doughy texture. Then she ate it, savoring each bite, not wasting one crumb. When she could eat no more, she took an apple just to look at it. I never want to be hungry again, murmured Faith to Tirza. Nor I. Let's sit by the window, suggested Tirza. The woods are beautiful. Let's curl up on the sofa and take a nap. Yes, a nap, agreed Faith. The floor was warm to their bare feet. They walked to a long window where a white divan waited. As she sat beside Tirza, Faith tucked her feet under the hem of her white gown. We must look like we are being swallowed by a cloud, remarked Tirza, as they sank into deep cushions. The two friends looked over a wood that fell away to a river below. Flowers were waking from the season of frost and stretching little leaves to the sunshine. Ashiel has been talking with Manson for hours, said Tirza. I don't like to talk about anything but eating, sighed a sleepy Faith. Faith turned to see if the feast-laden table was still there. It was. Reassured, she turned to gaze at the greening wood. She smoothed her gown with stretched out fingers, delighting in the cleanliness of her hands. Her only complaint was the gown had no pockets. She had nowhere to store an apple, a hunk of bread, or a round of cheese. In her experience, a deep pocket was as good as a pantry. There is one thing I do not understand. Weren't you searched when you came to the camp? Ashiel and I certainly were. That was how they found this book. How was it the brown leathers never found the scroll or the other things? I was questioned, but no one went through my clothes, Faith yawned. After dinner, may we go see Mara? The precious contents of those pockets were not burnt. Somehow, Faith's coat was not thrown in the furnace, but was found in a corner, unmolested. The gifts and her cloak, freshly cleaned, now waited in her room. Manson was astonished the little girl possessed gifts from the giants of Nephilim. She showed him the book, the stone, and the bag of seeds. He marveled when she told the tale of the discovery of the scroll. Tirza and Ashiel were equally astounded as they heard for the first time the narrative of Faith's ordeal in the caves. Manson spoke. I do not understand the significance of the scroll, but I see the king has entrusted it to you. The king gave me this scroll? Faith asked, with her eyes growing wide. Well, you have it, don't you? Manson observed. All things work together for good to those that are called according to his purpose. I am proof of that. You are on an important mission. If you have not known it, that is also part of his plan. 87. It was just before Vespers. Prochorus slouched in his easy chair, dozing. Theophilus chuckled to himself. The giant certainly had every reason to be tired. Yesterday, Nicanor, Prochorus, and Timon chatted over tea and scones about drilling for war. Stephen approved the idea and adjusted the fortress schedule for some giant playtime with sharp, heavy, pointy things. When the giants gathered for the practice, they grinned at each other like boys at a playground. Only instead of slides and games, they each bore terrible weapons. Timon, the gentle gardener, proved to be swift and agile as he swung his morning stars. The Zweihander sang through the air in Nicanor's grip. The killing look in his eyes gave Theophilus pause. He resolved to be more complimentary of Nicanor's cooking. Prochorus's quarterstaff was the size of a tree. When he swung it, the air could not get out of the way fast enough. Even for a soldier like Theophilus, watching giants fight was unnerving. Stripped to the waist, they went after one another with battle axes, swords, and staffs. Silence was abandoned. War cries, yells, and beastly bellows echoed through the mountain as giants swung and parried. When Nicholas slammed his axe into Parmenas' shield, he staggered his fellow giant. Regaining his footing, Parmenas dodged Nicholas's return swing and retaliated with a single-leg takedown that brought the mighty blacksmith crashing to earth. Parmenas held out his hand to Nicholas. The smith took the hand and pulled, flipping Parmenas over his head, slamming him to the stone floor. They both struggled to their feet, laughing. Theophilus laughed out loud at the memory. Prochorus snorted, sat up, and rubbed his eyes with his fists. "Sorry," sighed Theophilus. "Sorry to wake you." "No trouble," replied the yawning giant. "What are you laughing about?" "Today's battle practice. Remember how Nicholas—" Talk about weapons practice led to a discussion of historic battles and the play of history. Then it was time for vespers. Theophilus banked the fire. Prochorus rose stiffly from his chair. "Of all weapons, which is the most deadly?" Theophilus asked. "I would postulate that the deadliest instrument is not a weapon, but a gift," commented Prochorus as he stretched. "Like the ones given to Faith? No, those were meant for her alone. The gift of which I speak is given to every man. This gift compounds itself each moment for either good or ill. Can you guess? Life is given to every man. Some hold the gift long, others short. True, but this gift involves fate and purpose. This gift can steer a life to heaven or hell. I will continue to—" "Could you mean free will?" broke in Theophilus. "Yes, my friend, you have it. The gift of free will calls all to follow the king. The mystery is why men choose destruction. I chose to follow the king a long time ago." "The proof is almost upon us," sighed Prochorus. "Do not faint in the day of battle, but quit yourself as a man." Theophilus was surprised by the rebuke, but he decided to embrace the words, for the book taught, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend." Theophilus joined the giants for vespers. The comfort of the meditations engulfed him. He allowed his mind to rest. He would ponder the mystery of free will on the night watches. His mind drifted. What were the giants chanting? This is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. 88. The gate of the camp jumped out of the black night. The brown leather reined the horse in hard, setting her on her hocks. Dismounting, his boots hit the ground, and pain shot up his spine. He grabbed the saddlebag with a paper signed by Dr. Luce for the release of Ashiel. After days in the saddle, it was a wonder he could walk at all. As for the horse, she regained her legs, hung her head, and blew hard. "Keeper! I demand to see the keeper!" yelled the man as he banged on the gate. A lantern appeared. "What do you want, man, at this hour of the night? Who are you?" "I demand to see the keeper," repeated the brown leather. "The keeper will see you in the morning," the man bellowed. "Get me the keeper." Dogs bark. Great. Now you woke the kennel. The lantern lifted, and two faces stared at one another, the gate between them. The one was red with exertions, the other pale with sleep. "Now what is this all about?" demanded the lantern holder. "I have ridden from Topeth with a command from our dear queen." "Let me see the papers." The brown leather complied, the lantern revealing the seal of the dear queen and the signature of Dr. Ahithophel Luce. All right, muttered the man as he unlocked the gate. When the bolt pulled away, the brown leather shoved the gate aside. He snatched the lantern from the gatekeeper and lifted it high to peer into the gloom. "Which shack is the keeper's?" "That one," pointed the man as he secured the gate. With a final twist of a key, he scurried away into the night. The brown leather hobbled to the indicated hovel. He pounded on the door, rousing the keeper of the dear Queen's royal camp for re-education and perfecting of enlightenment. 89. Circling in their kennels, the dogs whimpered as the men approached through misty dawn. In the cage were 3 odd-sized mutts and 1 giant hound. A brown leather, the keeper of the dear Queen's royal camps for re-education in the perfecting of enlightenment, and the houndmaster brought an old blanket to the dog's cage. "Perfect fool, I am a perfect fool," mumbled the keeper, "to be tricked by that deceiver into believing everything he said. Where have my wits gone? What will be the outcome of this disaster? How will I ever survive the wrath of Dr. Luce when he learns I executed the camper he recalled? This is unprecedented. No one has ever been recalled from the camps. How was I to anticipate this?" He ground his teeth. "That Skiva is to blame. If I could get my hands on his filthy hide, I would feed him to these dogs." Turning to the houndmaster, the keeper demanded, "When did the dogs last eat?" 3 days ago, was the reply. "Perfect. Throw this rag in the cage. When they have his scent, open the gate. Let them track that scoundrel and tear him to shreds." The blanket was tossed into the cage. It was taken from the bed Skiva used in the officers' barracks. The dogs ripped into it, growling and yelping. Nipping and tearing did not stop with the blanket. The smaller dogs were soon bleating and howling. The men ignored the fighting and continued talking. Turning to the brown leather, the keeper inquired, "When will you return to Topeth?" "My mount is completely spent. 3 days' good rations, total rest, and maybe I could walk her back to Topeth. Give me another horse. Don't have any. Ate them long ago. Cook could make a grand feast out of that horse of yours. Out of the question, growled the brown leather. I have my own accounts to settle with Dr. Luce and a whole host of keepers and accountants. It is already a disaster that I don't have the boy. You will go slowly then? Inquired the keeper. No choice, replied the brown leather. Besides, bad news is better in long coming. Yes, agreed the keeper. I see your point. Turning to the houndmaster, the keeper ordered, release them. The dogs were off, with Kerr leading the way. 90. Faith did not want to leave Manson's land. She was afraid to leave the table of butter, bread, fruit, and cheese. Hunger was a cruel traveling companion. She did not relish meeting him again. Manson said a little bird told him it was time for Faith to be taken to the Nephilim. Ashiel furrowed his brow, thinking that an odd statement, but agreed. That is where he and Tirzah desired to go as well. Manson supplied new traveling clothes to Tirzah, Ashiel, and Sam. The garments were of no particular color, yet blended in any setting. Sam and Ashiel liked that they were sturdy. Tirzah liked that they fit so well. Faith was given clothing too, but begged to wear her old dress and cloak made by the giants. Why? Asked Manson. I like my pockets, explained Faith. May I have cheeses and rolls to put in them? Manson smiled. She was so little, yet asked to do big things. If a cheese or two in the pocket of her old coat gave her the confidence she needed, then a cheese or two she would have. Of course, for the sake of your pockets, you shall have your own clothes and all the cheeses those pockets can hold. The night before they left, Tirzah and Faith went to see Mara. The old woman lay in bed, too weak to sit. After the ordeal of the camps, the others regained strength and flesh. But then, youth is its own medicine. During those days at Manson's, Mara confessed the wrong she had done. Faith readily forgave her. Tirzah struggled with the idea until Ashiel pointed out it all worked for their good. Through death, they found life. He reasoned that if Mara had not betrayed them, they would still be looking forward to bits of rat and watery soup. Tirzah forgave Mara. Entering the old woman's room, the two girls pulled stools to the bed. Blue-veined eyelids fluttered and opened. The aged face, framed by gray wisp, lay on white pillows. So pretty, she murmured. Faith cradled the gnarled fingers resting on the downy quilt. It was enough just to hold hands and smile. Tirzah disturbed the quiet. We have come to say goodbye. In the morning we will be taking a boat down the river. You will be taken care of here. Tears brimmed in the old eyes and followed furrows down her wrinkled cheeks. So pretty, inside and out. My girls, whispered Mara. The old woman struggled to sit up. Tirzah helped her. Faith adjusted pillows. A song came to me in the night, whispered Mara. It is for you. In a voice as soft as mist, Mara began her song. Go to the mountains, I say. There ye shall find the king. I say go. The mountains shelter peace. You will find peace. Go in peace. I say go. A light shone in Mara's eyes. The old one was smiling and nodding her head. The smile remained as the gray head fell back on the pillow. The tears were done. The eyes closed. So pretty, were her final words. Mara was at peace. Thank you for listening. To hear more of the story, please come back soon, or you may purchase your own copy on Amazon. Just follow the link below. Until next time.